All right. No, I didn't do the damn countdown this time because I was already a minute late and I wasn't paying attention. Howdy, folks. It's Vile Mike here. I'm in Mexico right now. How's everyone else doing?
I think I'm awake.
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night, but
Yeah, that makes two of us, but I have a feeling they were for completely different reasons. But we can.
no, I just couldn't sleep. I kept waking up. I don't know what was going on.
I'm not even sure I got to sleep last night with what's going on in my life right now. Oh, by the way, I am going to say this since we are talking, this is a political channel. Could somebody please tell Trump to not talk about fucking medicine ever again?
You want to clip that?
The tunnel thing just, I was like, okay, dude, I get where you're coming from, but dude, you are not, this is not your area. Stay in your goddamn fucking lane. Stop thinking you're a fucking doctor.
He has people on his DHS who have no doctor experience, no medical experience, never seen a patient. He has lawyers who never prosecuted a case.
Hey, hey, man, you want to deal with the legal system? Try with what I'm dealing with right now.
Dude, I don't care if a politician. Sorry, hang on. I don't care if a politician is a certified medical doctor. They're not my doctor. They don't know my medical history. I'm not going to fucking listen to you. I'm listening to my doctor.
Well, exactly. And I 100% agree with you because I'm running into this issue with my son right now, who's 18 years old. And I got the legal system circle jerking me around when I'm like, everybody knows my son does not need to be in jail and needs to be in a psych ward. Well, now he's at the psych ward, but the psych ward's only 2 weeks long. And if you want to know, honestly, my position where I am with you guys on the left side of things, I hate our fucking legal system. I fucking hate it. Once my son turned 18, just like my daughter, I'm fucking powerless. My wife is powerless. And my son, and it's like, every time when it came to my first child, my second child, it's like there got to be a war. It's like, hey, my child needs help. My child's doing this. This is, they got to be a war to the court for that. I'm like, so are you telling me my child has to get arrested or CPS has to show up to get my child the help I know they need? Oh, yeah, that's about it.
Well, hold on. Can you have them sign a power of attorney for you with you as the executor?
For my son?
Yeah.
We have not looked into executorship. You got to remember, this is all kind of fresh and raw the last few weeks. We are thinking medical guardianship. So at least the doctors can fucking talk to us when my son, because here's the thing. He's had an undiagnosed, what they call undiagnosed psychosis. And here's the thing. My wife and I don't know what caused it last year. We don't know what caused it this time, the same time this year. All we know is we let it go on for 5 months last year. And it was like, no, we're not doing this again. And it's like, oh, well, your son's 18. I'm like, I don't give a shit if my son's fucking 18. He needs help. But it's like the same thing with my daughter my oldest daughter, when she was in fucking school, man, and everything. It was just like, well, we can't do that. We can't do this until this or this. I'm like, why does my daughter have to fuck up to get the fucking help that we all agree she needs? Oh, that's how it works. So yeah, if there's one thing I can definitely say about our medical system is when it comes to that, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, my medical got cut because of that big, beautiful bill, unquote. My doctor's office closed. I have to go to Kaiser. So all I know, all that is covered is basic checkups, which means dental, vision, medication, my podiatrist, my feet doctor, my main disability, not covered anymore.
Yeah, I should look at my medical bills right now. I mean, fuck, man, I don't even get paid. I don't even get paid till Tuesday, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give an example here. I'm just gonna show you. Fuck it.
You know, one of my requirements for my
There's
disability
my
exercise
medical.
supplements.
This is all the medical bills I currently have right now. All of them. This is every medical bill I have not been able to pay yet.
One of my requirements for SSDI supplement is to at least see a doctor once a month for physical therapy or medical advice, right? Yeah, I used to do that. Talk to my doctor, hey, how's it going? Yes, I got my pain, yada, yada, yada. Now I can't even fucking do that.
I get the complaints right now. So maybe a single payer system would be beneficial for everyone on the panel right now?
I don't
You
know.
mean where it was? The way it was? Yeah.
I don't know. It's sometimes I'm going to say yes or no with my experience with the VA. But yeah, I got to be honest. Sometimes I am wondering if we could pull that off. But I think it would have to be, if we're going to do a universal healthcare system, it would have to be based on a state level due to the size of our population of our country.
I somewhat disagree.
Maybe not state, maybe regional.
Well, I would disagree with the state level because a lot of the states are dependent states. They can't even support their own social security system, let alone a full-on healthcare system. I think only Texas, New York, and California, maybe Florida could do it. And of course, Florida's not going to do it on their own. Texas might. But it's like a lot of things else. I think it just comes down to people. Maybe we could make geographical regions like we've done, where we have the Northeast, the Southeast, the Southwest, the Midwest. I mean, that's how my insurance program works. It's regional.
You know, that's kind of interesting. That's the way Obama set up the medical systems to be regionally directed. That's the way it was set up, and all of a sudden the Trump administration said, nope, no more. It was easily managed that way. The West had their regional director to oversee their sites. The Southwest had the South had theirs. The North had theirs. Northeast had theirs. The Central had theirs. There's like 5 different sections of the country that was separated, regionally overseen by one or a group of people. That's what helped manage. That's what helped manage the finances and the medication and the patient's procedures. People who are overseeing this. Now it's one fucking person.
Yes, and I understand the pros and cons of that, being in the military for 20 years. I've seen some very great doctors, and I've seen some really piss poor doctors. So what happens when you got to go through it? Because unfortunately, what happens is, like, for example, the guy who does my paracentesis every week, which is tomorrow, he was in the Air Force. And unfortunately, what happens is, a lot of times in the medical field, they go over to the military. They pay for all the medical stuff. They do their 6 years, and then they get out, and we lose all the good doctors, and we get the piece of shit left over. So I'm sorry. That's kind of how I've thought about socialized healthcare.
Well, I was kind of making a joke there, but
I thought you
Well,
were
speaking of jokes,
both of you got medical problems. That's all.
Well,
All
speaking
right,
of jokes, speaking of jokes,
topic.
Yeah, speaking of jokes, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy's back. Okay, I made a TikTok video. Yeah, I ate some crow on that one. I gotta do another video and say, yeah, I gotta eat some crow this time because I was wrong. I thought he was actually gonna be off the air indefinitely.
Well, not only that, Sinclair said that they were definitely not going to be putting his show on any of their stations, and even they backed down.
Who's Sinclair?
Sinclair is an organization that runs and operates over 250 national, local companies in this country.
Slow down your speech, Elihu.
They control what is shown over 250 channels in this country.
Well, stations. They
Stations,
control.
sorry. Stations.
So yeah, it's a company that owns a lot of the TV broadcasting stations. So now, granted, I don't watch cable TV anymore. It's all internet for me. So
well, I look at it this way. The only thing I saw really come back about it was like people were watching YouTube videos and they were like, "Oh, his monologue on YouTube got this many." I'm like, "Okay, what were his streaming numbers?" And this is where I've kind of my wife and I have been talking about is they just cannot do what Carson and Leno and Larry King and those guys could do. They just don't have it.
Well, there's also a lot more variety nowadays.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There are funnier people who are just on TikTok or YouTube who just make shit up on their own and do their content. And I've just said, and I think a lot of people have agreed, it doesn't matter the political views of these late night shows, they're just a dying genre.
I don't think so.
You don't?
Late night shows have attacked the left and the right. Both political parties they have both attacked.
Well, yeah, that's what
shows are a niche in and of themselves,
and them would do.
No, what I mean is, I don't think late night shows are dying. I think they're just they're a variety. They're a type of show that has their own niche. They're put at a time where not many people are watching to begin with. So a lot of the stuff you're seeing are the rewatches. And a lot of stuff you're seeing now are the views on YouTube, the clips that get passed around. It's how, and let's face it, comedy news shows are a lot of ways people are getting their actual news nowadays.
Yes.
It's kind of sad to say.
Well, there's shit. I've said a couple of times. I've looked and seen. I get the Babylon Bee, and I'm like, holy shit. Sometimes I'm like, fuck. I thought they were supposed to be satire, not telling real news.
Yeah, when the Onion and Babylon Beast post the actual factual headlines, the world is fucked.
Oh, was that a Babylon Bee headline?
No, that was my own little makeup.
And what's funny is Babylon Bee is basically the conservative version of the Onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, but I'm gonna give. You know what? I'm gonna give the Onion credit. It is actually funnier.
Well, I would kind of agree with you there, but
I like some of the stuff. I like some of the videos off the Babylon Bee, but I'm gonna be honest. Some of the shit I've seen on the Onion, I've just been like, you paid an actor to say those words, and he said yes.
Well, in my opinion, you can actually get an actor to say a lot of weird stuff, but I'm not going to go into that.
Hola, Mrs. Martinez.
How you doing, babe? No, I didn't make coffee, babe.
What the hell kind of husband are you?
We're not married.
Well, make up your mind. Either, well, then, fucking hey, how long you guys been together now?
Almost 8 years.
Okay,
7 years
I'm
common
pissed
law
off.
marriage.
Okay, I am pissed off. No, I told my daughter's boyfriend that. Oh, she says she's making coffee.
Yep, I thought.
So you're lucky.
Making coffee.
No, cafe.
True. Yeah, it's cafe.
Making
All right.
coffee.
So,
Talk to you
but
later.
the reason I was bringing up Jimmy was because of I was shocked to like agree with Tucker Carlson of all people,
I was shocked
saying
to agree with Ted Cruz.
yeah,
I haven't actually seen. Well, this is interesting because I don't listen to Tucker.
We both, Mike and I both agree
I
with Ted Cruz's statement and Tucker Carlson's statement about
yeah
this.
I don't
Yeah.
watch Tucker Carlson or Ted Cruz on purpose. It's when I see a clip or when I see someone else bringing it up. And all right,
All right, Cap.
but it's just basically they had the same sentiment. We hate this guy, but silencing him is not a good idea. And using the government to silence him is worse than anything else because and their reasoning I think was more of because we don't want to see it happening to us if we don't get in charge anymore. But to be honest, I still agree with them. I don't want to see other people getting silenced just because of their political views, regardless of who's in charge.
Okay, I've been kind of hated the last 2 weeks with everything that's been going on, both personally and politically. And I've gotten into some fights with some people, or not physical fights. I've gotten into arguments, and it kind of just hit a raw nerve for me, or it's like I cannot believe our country, the country I served for 20 years, has gotten to where it is. And I'm sorry, I can't blame it all on one man. I'm sorry, I just don't believe Trump is like a Hitler or a Mussolini or a Mao. I just think our republic will survive. We'll have elections in 2026. We will have elections in 2028. Trump will step down. And I think this fear rhetoric is very bad. But the left is trying to say, well, it's the right's fault. It's like, we're not the ones shooting people. And I'm sorry, but we're not. And I've had 2 Catholic shootings happen recently, and I'm Catholic, and I'm like, why did you have to shoot up a bunch of Catholic kids? Because you don't agree with our religion? I mean, I feel like my religion's been under attack for so long now, I can't even remember a time it wasn't.
Hold on one second.
Oh no, I'm done. You guys can go.
No, because I'm wondering, you're talking about the one that was on. Sorry, I had to look it up the exact date. August 27th.
I think so. The Catholic shooting.
Yeah.
The Catholic school shooting, right? There were 2 that happened this year that I know of.
All right, so that one did not get a lot of coverage. And hold on, I'm going to mute myself because Mrs. Vile's coming out.
Hey, Elihu, have you heard when our show comes back on?
No.
Fuckers. Why gotta tease us like that? Elihu, so you and Mike are in California. So you guys yes for Prop 50?
I am.
Okay. Sorry about that.
The whole point of 50 is it gives the voters the decision not to legislate. That's the whole point of 50. Basically, it's like, we're going to let you guys decide. Do you want these lines or not? Texas, Florida, Kentucky. Oh, we're going to do this no matter what you guys say. That's why California is different, because we're asking the voters, not legislation, to do it on their own. This is why people are upset. It's like, no, we don't, people are upset because they're giving the power to the voters, not legislation, to draw the lines. I'm like, that's the whole point. We live here. We want our representatives for our area. We don't care if you have to have a draw line, one street, and make a quick left to avoid a block. No, we don't want you to do this. We want our decision. If we don't want this, Gavin said if the vote's no, it's no. Done and done. And he has been done in the past. When he says it's no, it's no. He doesn't bring it back up again.
Okay, so you're talking about the California redistricting, right?
Yeah, Prop 50.
The Prop 50 thing. I asked if you guys are both in California. You were muted. I was curious to what way you guys were voting on that.
All right, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to vote on it right now, because I am, in principle, I'm against it. I said that as much when we were first bringing it up. I don't like the fact of political gerrymandering in my state, period. Because, I don't like the idea of gerrymandering. I don't want a whole, swaths of people having their voices silenced just because politicians are, want those votes and want those things in power. On the other hand, we do need some checks for what's going on in the blatant gerrymandering that's going on in Texas. And California has the opportunity of not only doing it in such a way to check the seats so that we can keep them equal. We can do stuff to make it so that the party or the groups that are being silenced have a larger voice in California.
Just a question about Mike Elihu. If I'm not mistaken, you guys have 54 reps, right? Or about that?
Yes, we should have more, but that's because we put a cap on how many reps this country.
Yeah, I know about the caps on representatives. I know the law, but I think that you have 54, 55 in your state.
I think it's 54. Let me check again.
Because your state has the highest amount of representatives I know of. New York and Texas have the second largest, and I think they're pretty close. And then there's Florida, and then
like 12, 22, something like that.
We have according to Wikipedia, it's only 52.
What? Do you have some seats not?
Well, they said there's 43 Democrats and 9 Republicans.
Are there any seats that are unavailable?
I don't know. I'm going to go back and type it.
No, because I've looked on the Times and it said, a seat is not available. But I thought you had 54 members, not 52.
I don't know.
No, yeah, it's 52.
Oh, really? Well, if I remember correctly.
Hold on, maybe the 54 is including the senators?
Oh, that might be a possibility. Maybe I miscalculated that. But I do know that California has the most. New York has the second. I don't know if Florida or I think Texas has more representatives than Florida. And then after that, I don't know. I'd have to think about Pennsylvania and my home state, Illinois, which is, I hate to say it, mostly Cook County runs everything. You've kept up with the news.
All right, so yeah, California has 52, Texas has 38, Florida has 28, New York has 26. Those are the 4 largest, I believe.
I thought New York had more than that. I'm surprised. Well, Mike, do you know? I looked at the law some years ago about the cap on the House of Representatives, but when I tried to look at the Constitution, and it was like, do you know how many representatives we would have if we went by our population?
No,
would have.
I don't. How many did
I did it. I did the math. I did the math some time ago. Now I'm going to estimate, but it was over 6,000.
I got you, Loach. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Sorry, Mrs. Vile's bringing me. Spilled it on me. It's okay.
All right, pour your whiskey in it and call it a day.
She already poured it in.
Well, she knows her husband.
Well, I told her when she came out earlier, but I put my little tray up. Hopefully, it won't spill again too much.
Where's Dandelion?
She's off for a couple of weeks because family stuff. Chris can't come in because he had some of his teeth pulled.
Ooh. I was talking to a guy who told me about it. I was talking to a guy I used to know back on YouTube about a certain. All right. Anyway, we're getting a little too personal here. We should be doing that offline. Which I'd do more with you, Vile Mike, if you ever answer your fucking X account. So, what did you want?
I haven't been on X in a week, dude. Hold on, and he's got his camera on, so just making sure.
Hey, Cat. Oh, you're looking good, man. I like the look.
Thank you. This just helps keep the hair out of the way.
All right, so let's see. What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? God damn it.
ICE or the UN?
Well, ICE can go on forever. So let's talk about the quote unquote UN sabotage, because this story kept getting wilder and wilder, in my opinion, and it turns out to literally just be what it was. You know,
Wait, what
mistakes.
story? What story?
The UN sabotage.
Oh yeah, it was the photographer and the Trump administration. That's basically who was at fault.
No, well, it was it's basically common sound issues for the microphones. As for the teleprompter, I haven't really heard anything about it other than the fact that.
I have.
Okay, so can you tell me who the blame is for that? Because from what I understand, they didn't have any they didn't have any explanation for the teleprompter, just the audio.
Okay, since the early 90s, it's been delegated in the United Nations that every country representative is responsible for their speech, which means the teleprompter, which means the White House staff was responsible for the teleprompter, not the United Nations. Whenever a foreign leader speaks, their staff is responsible for the teleprompter, not the United Nations. So to put it all down to blame, the White House is responsible for the teleprompter mishap.
What was the mishap?
The teleprompter was not working.
For his speech at the UN, his teleprompter, it just
and he had his speech right in front of him on that platform as well. I'm like, okay, dude, you got the speech right there. Just say, okay, sorry, teleprompter's not working. Let me read this speech here. You don't have to make a fucking complaint about it and whine and bitch about it.
Elihu, tone it down a bit, man.
I'm sorry. I'm still upset for what the executive order he signed yesterday.
Which one is that one?
I understand you are unhappy, but come on, we're all friends here.
Okay, but yeah, Elihu, which one are you talking about?
The NSPM 7.
I'm not familiar with it, and I hadn't heard about this one yet.
This is basically his justification for putting ICE in the National Guard in Portland. It's called the National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 7.
Okay, yeah, that was one of the things. Okay, I didn't realize there was an executive order around it, but it was part of the ICE issue that I was going to bring up. So yeah.
Yeah, it's basically anybody can identify the following indications, quote unquote: anti-American, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for overthrowing the United States government, extremism or on migration, extremism on race, extremism on gender, hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on family, hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility to those who hold traditional American values on morality. Like, what the fuck? This
All
this
right, so
this, this
hold on,
circumvents every
hold
single
on,
Muslim.
hold on.
Elihu, hold on, Vile
Let's
Mike.
let's
I'm gonna
let's
say
fit.
this.
Hold on,
I'm
no, no.
gonna
I
say,
want to
hold on, my
let's
Vile
finish with
Mike.
the
Let
UN
me
thing,
say
and then we'll
one
go on to
thing.
this.
Let me say this just one thing. Elihu, I agree with you on the religious aspect. We are not a theocracy. I'm the only Catholic on here. But you're right. You know, one of the things I've had the biggest problem is, why do I need the state? Or in the case of Vile Mike, if he ever gets married, why does the state or the government need to recognize my marriage? I don't feel that's
Well,
right.
that's because marriages give you extra laws and protections with the under the government. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
well,
thing.
here's
Hang on,
the whole thing is the
sorry, Mike.
government
Hang
cannot.
on, MB, hang on. The whole thing about this thing is it's very
But
vague
can we
because
go back to the UN first, and then we'll talk about ICE because that is a obviously a hot button issue.
I don't think the UN
So
is a hot button issue. It's just basically a teleprompter and ESCA didn't work and people walked out of BB's speech.
what I wanted to talk about was the speculation that was going rampant right after about the whole sabotage thing. Oh, if this is going bad, this is going wrong, this is going wrong. Obviously, this was a coordinated sabotage effort against the United States, and I'm just like, sounds like technical issues.
No, it sounds like somebody's complaining and whining because the thing was basically nipped in the bud. It was people were complaining and whining, trying to point fingers at somebody when there was no fingers to be pointed at without even actually doing an investigation.
Elihu,
I looked into this myself.
Elihu,
I looked into this
I'm
myself
the
and I
worst
searched the
moment
UN
that
procedures.
Hold on.
calm your ass down.
Yes,
Yeah,
hang on.
Calm your
we're not
ass
I
going.
looked.
down.
I looked into this myself. The UN actually, I verified. The UN is responsible for the teleprompter. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, that's basic information you can look up. Stop
What about
complaining and stop
hold
blaming
on.
people. The
What
escalator.
about
I
the
looked at
microphone?
this. The microphone. Oh, that was bullshit.
Because as
95.
far as I
Hang on.
know,
90.
microphones are
90.
still the UN.
Yeah, the UN is the microphone. 90% of people had an earpiece in their ears, which means they can do a translation. The people who quote unquote did not hear Trump speak, they did not hear it in the earpiece. That's why it was not going through the earpiece. Every
And that
single speech goes through the earpiece. Trump's speech is not an earpiece.
Can I be honest with you, Elihu? Who the fuck cares really about the UN?
Trump
I
and his
do.
cronies. Trump and his cronies do.
No,
I think the UN is responsible for preventing and stopping a majority of the wars in this world right now.
Yeah, I could tell you different from that. The UN has been nothing but a waste of fucking. The UN is a fucking paper tiger, just like the League of Nations was. Which, by the way, the League of Nations was created by a president of ours. I can't remember which one. I think it was Woodrow Wilson, but I cannot.
You're correct on that one.
Okay. And guess what country wasn't a part of it? The United States. So what does the UN do? They're a paper tiger. All they do is say, well, we don't like it's like the fucking world court. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are to tell other countries
Okay.
how they want to
Well, then
be?
hold on. But do you think that we should empower the UN with more control?
No, I don't want the UN to have any control.
Why not? We're one planet.
We're not one people.
Yes, we are. We're one humanity.
Actually, I agree with Indy on that. We're one planet, but not one people.
I would say that no.
We're not one people. You can look
I
at the
would
four of
disagree.
us right here, right now, and we are not the same people. We occupy the same planet. We are not the same people. We do not believe necessarily the same way. So we are not one people, period.
See, maybe I'm too influenced by Star Trek because I would
You
say
are. You are.
I
That's
would
my
rather
favorite fucking
have,
out.
you know, the entire planet united in one form or another.
Well, it's a great dream, Mike, but it's not reality. You think Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, and atheists are all going to coexist?
I think it's possible, yes.
Okay. May I ask you how you think that's possible?
As long as you don't try to force your beliefs on other people, everything's copacetic.
But what happens when one person wants to force their beliefs on another?
That's
Or
where the
they
issue would
want
come up.
to talk about,
I
or they
would
want
hope
to talk about their belief with another person. Is
talking about a belief is different than forcing it on other people.
What is your definition of forcing religion upon somebody?
Oh, that's a good. You see, here's the thing.
Hey, I actually want Bob Mike to answer that question.
Okay,
I would say, in this regard, it would have to be through political measures. So it would have to be where the only justification for that belief is the religion.
I'm sorry, that makes no sense to me. I'm a Catholic, and even I don't agree with everything my church does.
Okay, let's put it for example, like homosexuality.
Okay,
Period.
what about it?
Several religions say that homosexuality is bad. That's fine. The religion can say that all they want. Once they start applying political pressure, once they start applying political pressure, and their justification is solely based on their religion, that's when it becomes wrong.
The scripture says, "Love the sinner."
But I'm saying is a lot of political discourse on the homosexuality issue is based entirely on their holy scriptures.
Yeah, but
So once you start using that, once you start,
explain this to me. Explain this to me, Mike. Explain this to me. I want you to try to explain this. I'm a baptized Catholic. That was my choice. I was mostly born Presbyterian. I have a daughter who has been in interracial relationships and in lesbian relationships. I have a daughter, my youngest one, who is in a relationship with someone who does not use who uses pronouns I really would prefer not to do, but I've always tried to make that person feel safe and comforting. And now I find out my daughter's pissed off because we seem like after the last 2 years we cared more for her than I'm sorry, her. My daughter has felt like she's like, when's it my turn? And I'm like, you're right, it's your turn.
well, I'm just saying, when it comes to the religion, if the only justification for your position politically is your religion, that's when it becomes wrong.
We don't live in a theocracy. I would never.
I didn't say we did. I'm saying
no. I'm telling you, as much as I believe in my faith, I would never want to live in a theocracy ever.
But
living
that's my position, though. That's what I'm trying to say is if the only justification for you to try to change laws politically is the religion, that is when it needs to be stymied.
Well, I think
not necessarily silenced, stymied.
Hey, Captain NKG has been silenced. Captain Silent? Yeah, dude.
You know
Speak.
what? I was thinking the same thing. Captain MKG, what do you have to say?
Yeah, you've been silent, dude. Talk.
I mean, I usually like to collect my thoughts and reserve myself for the, poignant topics. But just a quick question, NB. Um, you know, this is off topic, but you said you made the choice to be baptized in the Catholic Church, correct?
Correct. Yes, I did.
Have you been confirmed yet?
I'm sorry. Confirmed?
So in the Catholic faith, once you go through the the education portion of it, you go
Yes,
through a
the
confirmation ceremony.
catechism. Yes, the catechism. Yes, I actually do have my baptism documentation with the witnesses. I have that actually in a folder.
Wait, so you get baptized and you have to have a man to certify it, not God? That's kind of weird.
That's not an issue. We're not going to go into that. No, come on.
I was just curious. I wasn't trying to make it an issue.
Elihu, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I understand you're a fucking atheist, and I get that. But do me a favor and don't make fun of my faith or the choices in my faith. I don't make fun of you people.
Yeah, if this was entirely an atheist stream, I would understand his position bringing it up, but there was no reason to, Elihu. Let's be fair. All right, but for the last,
I was being a jerk on that statement. I admit, I was being a jerk.
So,
for the
last 8.5 minutes, let's go in and talk about the ICE issue, because now, Elihu, I'm with you, dude, on this, but try not to yell into the microphone, because sending ICE into Portland has almost nothing to do with upholding the law. It seems to be about punishing Portland, as far as I can tell.
Okay, like I said, I've been going through a lot of shit that I'll be happy to talk with you guys about offline. But what's going on in Portland?
Nothing.
Basically, they're sending. I'll explain because
okay.
I didn't know about the exact executive order, because I didn't realize it was an executive order. But they're sending in the National Guard and ICE to basically enforce the laws. Oh my God, that's actually funny. I just got a notification about a Jimmy Kimmel thing from YouTube. So yeah, that was interesting timing. Basically, they're going to go in, they're going to start arresting people, and I guess from what Elihu said, some of the criteria involving the arrests could be basically being anti-American, and this is having I'm having flashbacks to history class when they were talking about the House Un-American Activities Commission, where atheists were arrested, where communists were arrested, where anyone who wasn't American enough is being arrested.
And if you don't get arrested, there are 6 words that Trump actually posted. I'm going to quote: "I am also authorizing full force." You know what that means as a military, as a vet, and as a Marine, full force.
What that means in the military, and no, we don't use the term full force.
Well, I know, but this is the context of the terms.
You don't know jack shit about what the military is, so don't talk about shit you don't know.
I'm asking you a question.
You did not ask me a question.
I'm trying to ask you. I am trying to ask you a question, dude. Full force.
We did not.
As a military perspective, does it mean?
Both of you, shut up. But NB, what do you think Trump meant when he said full force? When he's sending in?
That's what I'm trying to ask. I
don't know what that means, because I've never heard the term before, and I've never seen it before. But there's non-lethal force and there's lethal force.
Okay, but what do you think Trump meant when he said full force?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
I'm assuming he had no fucking clue, like many politicians who never served. Don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
But NB, you would also, I think we've had this discussion before, or at least was brought up on stream before, that yes, POTUS does have the authority to put National Guard troops in DC. That's under his purview. But
Yes,
when it comes
because yes,
but when it comes to
because
states, but when it comes to states and cities like LA or Chicago or Portland in this situation, they don't have the authority, correct? At least not, let me rephrase that. They don't have the authority to do it on their own, but if the governor has requested, much like in Memphis, then they can. Is that a correct
I'm
understanding?
going to be okay. I don't know as much about the reserves as I do about active duty. So, and despite what people think, guard and reserve are different from active duty. They're different. Guard is different from reserve. They are trained differently than I was. Okay. I'm sorry. What was your question, Mike? I'm sorry, buddy. I'm so tired right now.
Well, I didn't have a question. It was Captain MKG that was asking the question.
Yeah, Captain MKJ. Sorry, what were you asking? Look, the way the guard works is they swear a different oath than active duty. Active duty swears an oath to the president. The reservists, if I would have to pull it up to get the exact wording, but their first loyalty is to the state governor, but they will follow the president if it's been federalized. Now, when it comes to how state of emergencies work and that kind of shit, I'm sorry, man, that's outside my scope. I would need to talk to somebody who's been in the reserves or the guard.
So it's my fundamental misunderstanding, but within the National Guard, if I understand you correctly, there's one that's there's two different types. Is that what I'm understanding?
There's the Air National Guard and there is the Army National Guard. There is no other National Guard.
Okay, that was my fundamental misunderstanding. I thought it was just like
okay. Yeah, every other branch has a reserve and active, but only the Army and the Air Force, as of right now, unless something's changed, there's no other guard.
Okay,
There's the Army National Guard, or there's the Air Force National Guard, or the Air National Guard, or the Army National Guard. Sorry, it's
no, you're fine. So my original question was basically to reiterate or recap from a previous conversation that the National Guard, as it has been discussed and described to the public, is that in the Capitol, the president does have the authority to deploy National Guard.
the president has the authority to do the DC National Guard because DC is the District of Columbia. It is the only National Guard because District of Columbia has a mayor, not a governor.
I want to.
Hold on a second, Mike. Let me
I just want to interject for a second because, as far as I understand, he also has control over territories. So Puerto Rico, Guam, Virgin Islands, stuff like that.
Well, you'd have to show me that law to tell me about.
I said I believe.
Look, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about the territories. I just know that
when it comes to territories, it's the U.S. Military.
Okay. The only National Guard that falls under the President of the United States is in the District of Columbia. That's it. Every other one has to be let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I'll pull up the National Guard.
So But to
Never
talk about
mind.
the criteria of being arrested, and Goliath, can you go over the criteria again, just so we can have it fresh in our minds? Because I'm going to end this stream in about 5 minutes to give us at least a little bit of leeway before the next stream.
Yeah,
Okay, anti-American, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the U.S. government, extremism on migration, extremism on race, extremism on gender, hospitality toward those who hold traditional American views on family, hostility to those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility to those who hold traditional American views on morality.
Okay, what's wrong with traditional American values?
What are
That is a
traditional
vague
American
statement.
values?
Like I said, that's a very vague statement.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Whose definition? This is why I'm upset about the EO, because it does not lay out word for word. It just says very vague statements.
And I'll give you an example. I've been told. Hold on. I'll give you an example, MB. I've been told several times that being an atheist by itself is not traditionally an American position.
okay, well,
So,
it's
would you be okay?
generally
Would you be
not.
okay under this thing if I was arrested for just simply being an atheist?
I don't see how it's possible for you being arrested for not having the same religion I do. I'm Catholic.
But
Fuck
What if
by
I don't say
definition,
under God and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Hey! Most of my people fled to America because of persecution, because of King James. Thank you very fucking much.
but what I mean is,
what is the King of England's? He's the king of the church, head of the church. What are they? They're fucking Protestants.
well, what I'm getting at is, like the House Un-Americans Activities Commission, being an atheist was basically considered being un-American.
Yeah, well, so there was one
So-
time where the FBI or whatever it was called at the time when I watched the
So-
J. Edgar movie.
Under the
Yes,
vagueness,
the
you understand that
comment
it's possible
thing.
that someone like me would be arrested.
And Mike, to even further go more on that, how can you verify someone's religious affiliation? What's to prevent somebody from just saying, "Oh, you're an atheist," or "You're an atheist," and just start, flopping them out?
Yeah, but I don't know, Cap, I don't understand this. Is the atheism even categorically a religion?
No. Well,
No, well,
I would.
no.
What was the question?
Speaking, hold on. Definitionally speaking, I would say no. Atheism is not a religion. It is the opposite of what religion is. But for the sake of religious protections, atheism is on that list. You cannot discriminate for being an atheist as well.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Unless you're a religious organization.
So,
excuse me, what, Eli?
Yeah, if you are a religious organization like a Christian bookstore, you can refuse to hire somebody for not being a Christian legally.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some exemptions for that.
And also, yes, and an Islam place can not hire a Christian.
Correct.
So let's cut.
They're legally protected.
Hey.
yeah, that type of stuff I don't have an issue with primarily. I would argue that if you are one of those institutions, it wouldn't matter.
All right, look, it's a private institution. I got kicked out of Walmart the other day because I got pissed off at a fucking guy who was a third fucking contractor, didn't have enough goddamn sense to tell me his third contractor. And he's like, I just answer the phones. He's behind the fucking counter. So what the fuck else am I supposed to think he does?
Well,
it felt good though.
I would be worried that the vagueness of this order, based on what Elihu has read, would empower individual officers, or in this case, soldiers, from making the determination on their own.
Soldiers are only army.
Well, you know what I mean. Not,
no.
He
National Guardsmen.
was talking vaguely.
No. Yeah, well, sorry. They're not soldiers.
It's like it's like saying Congress without specifically calling out Senate or House.
That's like calling me a fucking sailor when I'm a Marine.
I'm just referring to the National Guardsmen.
Well, excuse me. I'm just trying to make sure you get your.
How about just say military?
Hold on. We're at 55 minutes. I'm going to end the stream because I got a Delojo before the next stream. So hopefully I'll see y'all there.
Cap, you going to come back?
I'll come back for a little bit. Let me re-up my coffee, but I'll be back for the.
Oh, yeah, man. Miss you, buddy.
Hold on. I'm ending the stream. Bye.
Bye.